All right, welcome to the Beyond Advanced Promotion Corporation hiring meeting number one, or meeting number one. We're going to go over this employee packet and we're going to go over the numbers and what's going on with the company right now. So, get right into the things, the little things. So, over this course, I've made little sacrifices here and there in order to obtain a business at the age or before the age of 30, in order to retire, at the age before the age of the expected or average retiree. Um, so we're at the end, and the little things are what I'm paying for now. The things up to the big things before the show gets ramped up and on the road. So I just want everybody to be ready and prepared. I don't want to have a conversation or any uncomfortable conversations or moments with anybody to where I'm trying to explain something that they should already know the answer to, because you're going to look stupid in front of everybody. So let's kick it off. So payment, the way this is going, or the way my company's going, a lot of people are like, "Oh well, you're this, you're that. You shouldn't have the money to do this. You don't have the they'll never say I don't have the connections or anything like that. But um, just getting the little things paid for. So we got a down payment to get a payment to make a payment coming up here. And that's all based upon the little things and how quickly I pay for it, clean up the little things. So we should be ramped up here in the next couple months. I know winter will be a big quarter for us, and then I know the summer will be also either which way. So that's what we're aiming at, 2022. So we can get straight into this packet here. This having to go through this and get funding for my company through outside means or without doing like GoFundMe or anything like that. Has made it, so I learned the industries a little bit different. So banking and anything involving money, any financial industry, I've learned it a little bit better. So here we are, our articles of corporation. This has all been paid for twice. So I've been through this process twice. So I have two different business names I've filed under there. But here's the newer one. There's articles of incorporation. Goes down, has all of our information on it, all the way down into our licenses and endorsing affairs by the state of Michigan. So we have that, our employee identification number coming down from the IRS. I also have the Social Security Administration forms and regulations for stuff like that. This is what I'm using to show you guys, just so you know a little bit what I go through in the office, or the things I have to fill out, and get the debt schedules and the cost of everything going down. This is how I actually obtained it with a little collateral. I also had to put a down payment for the SBA loan, so it was like a 1-2 punch. After I got the connections and the people around me, financially in that industry, to give me a green light, it's been a downhill battle from here. So just finishing off little things, and you can kind of see the backbone in which this was created. But we can skip all this boring SBA paperwork. This is for me, office use only, and we'll get straight into the numbers of things. So our budget is pretty cut and dry. The budget is $5 million. Took out 6.2 mil on myself personally. Took a 50K unsecured for a 10% down payment, and ended up with the money I needed to go through these different channels. So SBA policy, those funds getting allocated go straight into our shows, our Bitcoin mining rigs, which Bitcoin mining rigs will be confiled and put together, by our own hands, by our employees, and our shows will be put together. The calls and the shots will be called from our office. From then, I paid for the payroll, so to have you guys for the next 4 months, in order to make it to a show, in order to get paid for the shows, for the tickets that we've been selling. We sell out pretty much every show that we do. So. Especially with our marketing push, which makes it super easy to sell out those shows. After that, we get you guys on salary for payroll. Our locations, that's just money to keep us in a spot or to have a spot. Marketing promotion, that's for the company, and technology inventory, that's for parts, for the inventions that we're getting ready to push out and mass produce. Anything left over is just going into the bank account to save for expenses, the cost of business and stuff like that. So for that 4 months, we're going to be doing nothing but our stock market systems, our Bitcoin mining, and our shows. So those one, two, three. So if you're working and you're in the laborers section, which we'll get into that in our employee packet, you're going to be with or doing putting shit together, making phone calls, or giving somebody else a hand with something. Not to run your rampant, just to see what we can do, and so everybody knows how to do everything. Um, so that's where the funds go. How I got paid for, I kind of went into earlier. Me moving to different channels and having connections, and exchanging business cards and information like that. So these funds are allocated. We were gunning for September, but it's September now, so we might be able to get it done at the end of September, which won't push us back too far. And where that affects us is it's going to show us which show we're going to be doing. So 4 months out, there should be a show done. So it's looking like May now, which is the time for the college shows. Everybody's getting done with school and stuff like that. So that doesn't bother me too much. Plus, we'll have residual income coming in and out, regardless of when we do a show, enough to pay payroll. So we got some wiggle room. But just getting into those numbers, you get your returns every month, which that's about where our returns are, just off of the Bitcoin miners, stock market system, and our shows. That coming in every month. This is about where we're at, about $500,000, which like I said, pays for payroll and all that good stuff, and where we stay, or where the business is, or where entities will be hosted, pays for that. So we paid for the show. We ended up hiring everybody, giving everybody their salary. Money goes in the water trade, and then we doubled down on the Bitcoin CPU business. Getting more CPUs, as many CPUs as we get, we'll always be putting together Bitcoin miners. So if there's nothing to do at work, there's always that. This is a personal expense, but as much as it's personal, there's going to be enough of you guys at my humble abode for it not to be too personal. But I did take that out because, me being the lovely business owner that I am, I do take care of myself a little bit, especially after all these years of sacrifice. That $10 million in the budget for this entity, I don't know what's going to happen to it. I don't know what we're doing with it. I don't know what's going on with it right now. So we're just moving forward and keeping what we can, and then using what we can, and then so on and so forth. We go down here. There's a lot of bigger projects, technology, 100,000 or 100 million, technology, 100 million. The United Nations Island Food Market, that is us getting food, buying farmland here, and getting it overseas. Through any means, at all means, getting it there quick, because there are places that are forgotten about, not traded with. So just a quick overview of the numbers. You go into the forecast here. Now, these are where the numbers are different, and I put new numbers on my little cue card here, because this is now 2021, 2022. So now that after all that nonsense happened, this is the first one I made, and we are literally right upon that evaluation through this fourth year, this being 2025, 2026, I do believe. From 2021, 2021, we didn't expect to make anything. We just expected to be putting our money, into the business, and then, coming out with a $45 billion in before we went public in 2023. So we've got years still. We're still going public in 2023 because our numbers are spot on still. Thanks to the executive branch, we're pretty heads up about numbers and losing money and making sure that money reallocates and resurfaces. So that being said, we go to the year 2021, 2022, and we are forecasted in that year to go. 2022 is supposed to be $16 billion. 2023, so 2022 is 16. 2023 is 60 billion. So we'd end up here. So that's first year 16, second year 60. Third year would be 2024. We're at 250 billion. This is when we catch back up. And then your 2023, which would be 2025, is actually upwards towards the $1 trillion in market. So we're ahead of schedule. I've got to work and iron out a lot of things and get a lot more contacts and connect. So we're ahead of schedule in the long run. We're making way more money in the long run. But for now and for the moment and now, we're a little bit under, but we're right on pace, which is nice. Because if you scroll down with me, you look at this forecast here. We're only supposed to come up 13 billion. There's supposed to be 16 billion here in that first year. So, and that's 2020. So our numbers are literally spot on. Our numbers don't miss, which is crazy. But our numbers don't miss. So here where it's $3 billion. We make about $1 billion off of. We make about $2 billion off of Showtime, and we make about $1 billion off our Bitcoin stock. And these are residuals that come in no matter what. So we already at the three. So what our stock is worth, at the end of the day, is what it's worth, and we'll get into that in a second. I need you guys to bear with me during this and double down into this, because you need to know this in order to talk about where you work and how you work. So that being said, that $3 billion, we'll have $13 billion will actually end up coming through our hands. 16 of it will be spent. And that's spent on three different cities, and getting our businesses up in three different cities. Now doing that gives a year for construction. So this is all going to be construction and hire. So then when you open, you have a year of business, and at the end of the year, you take your money from that business, or take what you want from that business. So then you're always taking, instead of taking here, you're always taking at the end of the year. So you always have money. So this schedule keeps going down, which is spot on still, just like this. These are our prices. We go public in the year 2023. Right now, your share is worth, if you own a share of the company, it's worth, I think, about $35K, based upon where we are right now. So our valuation to what's actually going on is worth $35K. In the second year, so right here, this is when the value, in between here, the second and third year, our value will equal that 150K. So we're not too worried about that, because we end up, over the next 4 years making way more money. So it's going to actually be way more than that, or a little bit more than 150K, as a stock being on, being in the NASCO. It'll come out, a little bit higher than that, and here's the splits on the stock, and this is what you're looking at, stock where it's public. So 5% of the company's total stock goes into the stock market. So cash value, you break that down, these are all billions, and then we sell it for this. This is what it's being sold for right now. So there's $120 billion. You divide it by how many shares you want to have, and then that gives you the price of your share also. So this is what we got, 65 billion here, but that goes back into the company. 30 billion here, that goes back to your partners, and then the 5%. These are the percentages, goes back to into the stock. So there's our cap right here. So our cap's high, so it's gonna end up being worth more money again. Or how many shares we have are right there, and all those shares are just up and floating, like they're all for sale, because I already own my portion of the business, and then I get throwing back money from the stocks, or however the stocks does, and if I want to sell it, I can. If I don't want it, don't have to. So that's nice. Learning the ins and outs and the guts of business. And then here's the forecast for the shares going up and what percentage right. And once again, you see in this year, I'm on every single one of them in the 4th, 5th year. There's a giant ramp up and rise of what we're doing. It goes into the things that we invest in from a $3 billion standpoint. Spend it all the way down to $100 million in that second month. This doesn't include the account that we put aside for our money to go into that second month. You go all the way down, spend it to 95, and that's plus your monthly return. So that money that you make every month on return, which this is about spot on when we're ramped up. Our monthly return right now is looking like this. In that first month, we return um, more than I thought we would. But in the first month, I have us returning 215K. That second month, I have us returning $500,000, or just under $500,000 at 425K. That third month, and this is the end of the first quarter, is our $1,000,000. We break the $1,000,000 month at $1,025,000, or yeah, $1,025,000. So that third month, that's just us knowing what we're doing. Everybody's trained. Everybody kind of just getting what they're supposed to do done. To that fourth month, we're making $1.5 million, and then the show happens, and we're getting paid back from 3-4 sold out shows, and then the one that's going on top of that. So that's when we're into the 100 millions there. So it literally takes off quickly. So that $100 million oomph is where we start pushing and paying for the other things that we had up on this upside, which is, let me find it for you guys right here. So right here. So this is when we start, spending money on those things here. And that takes us into the second quarter. Now the second quarter will be focused on pretty much getting those business accounts filled. So we use Monday.com. Let me see if I can get it up for you guys. So this is a platform I choose to use for everybody. This is supposed to be in the higher packet or whatever, but I'll show you it now because I'm zooming through this thing. Hopefully this video isn't longer than an hour. Pray we're not holding you guys longer for an hour. So these are all the things you guys will come in and work on. I'm not I'm not breathing down your neck all day. I do want to see you for 20 hours a week, however that may be, however you show up. Other than that, you can work from home, you can work out on the beach, you can work from the coffee shop, you can work from your grandma's house. I don't care where you work from. In here, tell me who's working on what or who's worked on what, and then you go down. We can start at shows. So if you're going to go sell tickets or anything like that, you just weekly shows, come in, have the date that you're trying to get this many tickets or however many tickets sold by. If you're working on a show, you go in here and click in it, and it'll have everything you need to do or everything that needs to be done on here. Still for the show. So if you need to make a phone call to reserve tents, or make a phone call to make sure the artist is still coming, or make a phone call to make sure that the artist is still interested, or make a phone call to get fucking pizza for the guy or the woman or whoever needs it, make sure it'll be in here for you to do. Like, all that stuff will already be done from the higher levels, and then we just give you guys the smaller tasks to do. Cans is shut down. It's actually illegal for you to take bottles from one state to another, which is stupid to me. So you're just gonna put all that in the landfill. There's a whole bunch of not recycling going on, but I'm not gonna argue too much. We didn't really need the residual income, so we're good on that. Sales, there'll always be that number in here telling you how much we need to sell for the quarter and the month. First quarter, first month sales. So that's the 215K. I haven't broken that down into Bitcoin miner, stock, and then the shows to see how much you'd have to do. I just expect us to hit the ground running, especially with a full belly and some good cash in your pocket, better than you were getting paid before. For me too, so I'm gonna hit the ground running. I'm gonna hit this thing in the mouth in order to get everybody their salaries and the things that have been promised in contract. So this is Monday.com. You get in here, you'll have the technology there too for the people in the lab. You'll have all that technology, anything that you're working on, you'll have that in there, and then the gist of everything you need to know and the original blueprints and all that good shit. Business accounts, picking locations, calling realtors, calling franchise and stuff like that. Every single one that we do in every single state will be in here. And it'll just be waiting for somebody to open the file, finish the account, and then go into status, and then, done. So that's in there. So number wise, here are all our businesses that we have. We have a few more than this. There are more coming in. very lucrative businesses. Some of them are personal to me. Some of them are just because they're my favorite businesses to run, and they make money. They generate income. Um, but everything in their company is based off our technology, our diplomacy, and the way our companies ran. So it's nice. It's nice to have this up and to go through this with you guys. That's all the money I paid. That's all the business loss I've been through hence far. And this is me getting paid back from it, or getting some type of income or credit back for all that nonsense I went through. So here's a lot of tax paperwork, which you probably don't want to go through with me. So we're almost done, actually. So that's just a whole bunch of stuff that had me put in there in order to, show them that I'm backing my company. Plus, this year's taxes coming up. Um, so where are we gonna start? We can start right. Scroll down to page 416. All right, so we are copymarked, trademarked, and patent pended. Everything. These are a lot of the different entities and the gist of what we do as a technology corporation. These are the Bitcoin miners. So you put it together and it mines the coin. You sell the coins back to the place as a profitability calendar or calculator. I'll tell you how much you make for this. This is what we're starting with at 455. I actually think it's 700 something now. But 455, when you have all those done, pays this every day. So it pays, 40K every day. So that's automatic income that comes back to us every month. It's 127, So we're spot on with those numbers. This is my own stock market software that works every time, but you have to have enough money, as you see the logs here, to put it in there. You have to have, enough. And this is what I teach you guys. All of this stuff, if you pay attention to it, this is stuff you can do at home for yourself when you're not working for me. So if you're not making money on top of your salary, it is your own fault. I give you all the tools you need to be successful. See, now here we get into the good stuff. Here are $1,000 trades, you getting your capital up and being able to trade and learning the market. So here's when I caught Tesla. I caught Tesla about like $140, and I was like, all right, everybody needs to invest in Tesla because it's getting ready to shoot up. I made a whole bunch of millionaires in my city that ended up, blessing me with connections and stuff like that on the rebound. Here's me tweeting about it. It was at 200 at one point. I'm like, vest, and it ended up reaching $1,000. But that's just my calls on the stock market. I'm really good at that. I'm starting to get into Forex, just to have something else to trade on days where there's nothing to trade. And the regular faction. So it's easy just sitting by the computer. If you haven't watched the video or haven't looked at the higher packet with the video for the Bitcoin miners and the video for the stock system, that's 1 and 2 right there. I just did the thing for the accounts to log in to know how to do those accounts. So that's another thing. And then selling tickets for a show, you just go out like it's like a field trip. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's what we're making money off of when we first step in the door. Here are all the shows we have. We do them in different locations. Here are the months. Here are the ones that I haven't been choosing on location. All in all, it's about 40 shows. It goes up to about 70 shows when we get fully ramped up. This is the first one. That's the first set list. I haven't made any more set lists, or I've drafted a few set lists and I haven't done anything with them. So they're all in here ready to go. Adult Swim is looking pretty good. We got to find openers for all of that in order, and be able to make the flow show itself. So work to be done in the promotions. Here are a few contracts. These are the things they send you after you get off the phone with them and have conversations with them, make sure everything's ironed out. They send the contract after the deal's done and it's already been accepted and shit like that. So you don't even get that thing in your hand until they feel some type of way. So here's Boozy emails from a whole bunch of other clients. Here's Paradigm. There's their sheet, which you have to get a printout for me. I'll give it to you if you need it, or it'll be in your in the email. Here's rugby. That's the NFL. I had some stints in there. Here's draft interest and stuff like that. Here's a national Here's a professional sevens league that's getting ready to happen. Here's the United States men's national team, stuff like that. Um, Here's Amber Rose and a whole bunch of other big names and famous people just checking on me. A lot of teammates, stuff like that. Um, this girl I was crushing on, she was digging me for a bit. I was one woman. Here's a patent. Um, so this is some of the technology I have patent that isn't touchable. So these main parts, my software, and its power system, and a couple key components of what the technology does are patent. And then after, now all you do is, or if you have a blueprint or a device that you want to make, you put the name of the device up here, and here you write in what they do, the components of the device and how it works. Down here is the blueprint. So it always will have this software chip, it will always have the CPU in it, and it will always have this power device in it. So 1 and 2. So now you have your computer done and your power. So you choose, how you're gonna power it, and you choose how it will operate. So now, then after, thereafter, as they say with patents, stuff like that, it's the components you put to it. So now you design the chip to whatever you want it to do or however you want it to operate. But you have a power source and you have the language of it to understand. And that's in the technology thing. We'll get to that stuff. But this is just me showing you guys. There's a trademark and search and stuff like that. That's the Island market. If you haven't checked it out, these are all the things that I've invented and all the things that I can sell and produce to somebody else. Here's trade talks with members of the United Nations, Televulu. I met some Islander guys in California. They kind of carried the word, and the word kind of carried over there. And they were like, all right, sweet, so you're going to be the future of this, that, and the other. I was like, yeah, cool. And they were like, all right, send us what you got. Sent them the packet. They liked it. They're like, all right, well, when you're ready to go, let us know. A few inventions, car inventions. Modern day, the system that Tesla operates, this is half of it. The first half was kind of yeeted. I was pretty heated about it, but it turned out to be a pretty badass deal to where I can get rights to theirs for mine. So this got yeeted also. The United States military just tried to take this project over. The Chinese and Japanese took this one over. This came out to a finished project with a couple of my designs on it, which is a little bit lower. Here it is right here, and then which ended up coming out anyways. This is being able to transfer a lot of technology coming out. So if you're ever in the lab, you get a chance to go into the lab and see some of the stuff that they're working on to mass produce. There'll be a lot of this stuff. This is going to be huge. It's going to be a giant money maker. This is my Calvin system. Tesla came out with his robots, but they don't do anything that mine do. And I didn't put my finished robot. I just put the different components. So he has the finished robot, but all the software and stuff like that. Besides judo, my robot doesn't do judo or anything like that. But it's a pretty nice bot. I built this desk myself. These are more power things. This is space theory. If you're not that smart, you can check it out, and I put it to layman terms so you can understand it. This is the record from the IRS for a few other things that I'm working on. This is to get food and stuff over to the United Nations, the third world countries that don't have it. This is me getting my tax credit, and that's them signing off on it. That's the same paperwork. Recording it and make sure it's recorded. So these are a lot of personal endeavors and personal finance and stuff like that. So there's that one. And this is the last part we will be working on right here. So I'll give you guys a break real quick and quit talking.